So this is what my session today is about, right? IB plus II plus IS should be significantly greater than TI plus CI plus CV. Anyway, that's just for fun. I guess you all already know why I am here, right? I was not supposed to be here. It was supposed to be Canaan. But why are all of us here at VolCon? I was just thinking about this last night. I said, there'll be multiple objectives, right? Some of us are here because it's a great opportunity to network. We get to meet more organizations. We get to meet other people. We get to build new relationships, new connections. Some of us are here because we are speakers. Some of us are here because we get an opportunity to put a nice little post on LinkedIn saying, I was proud to be part of this panel or whatever it is. Some of us could be here because we got a nice 2-day break from work, right? Some of us are here to find support. Maybe there are corporates in this room who have money. We can catch them and get some money for our work. All kinds of things. But I'm hoping above all, we are all here for the same one common reason, which is, can we do the max over the next 2 days to learn about how can I do whatever I do better? Now, what do? We all are working on volunteering. Why does it matter? Why should we do it better? How does it matter? Volunteering is one nice little activity that some companies do, some young people do because they have nothing better to do with their time, etc. How does it make a difference whether people volunteer or not? I want to just share one interesting thing I've been going through the last 2-3 years in my life. I have a maid, Tahira, must be late 30s. She's got 2 kids, comes to my house, cleans, takes care of things. And she had a drunk husband, auto driver. She has 2 young kids. He used to beat her every day. There's a very nice organization called Majlis, which works with women in Bombay. I connected her to Majlis. She didn't go. Then I followed up 2-3 times, pushed her. She finally went. They advised, they helped her. A year ago, she finally got a divorce from him. 3 weeks later, he stabbed her in the abdomen. She was in hospital for 2 months. Somehow managed to survive and come back. I've been supporting her financially in other ways that I can try and do whatever I can. But her child, her daughter, who's just finished her 10th standard exams last week, is, has anemia, has a lot of other issues, etc. And I'm struggling still with what is my role in this as a responsible citizen, how much should I help, what should I do, etc. Parallelly, about a year and a half ago, almost 2 years ago now, I'm part of an initiative called Living My Promise. There's about 160 of us across India who promised to give away half of our wealth back to society. So in October 2022, a bunch of us got together. We were talking to different organizations. And this young boy from Assam who runs an NGO called Navodaya Foundation would come, and he was telling us about the work he does to encourage women in a district called Tamulpur to grow mushrooms. And he said, though, how much was it? Yeah, about 2,000 rupees to train a woman to grow mushrooms, and she would earn at least 5,000 to 6,000 rupees every month. That seemed like a very high return on investment, right? 2,000 you spend one time, and she's going to earn 5,000 rupees a month. So a bunch of us got together. Somebody said, I'll give 2 lakhs, 3 lakhs, etc. We together committed 24 lakhs. And he trained 1,200 women. And a year later, I actually went and checked because, people say all these things. I personally met at least 200 or 300 of those women. And they were all earning between 6,000 to 8,000 rupees a month already. And then I was able to help him get connected to a few banks and all of that stuff. Right now, those 1,200 women are earning about 1.6 crores a month together, right? And I came back. I'll tell you what I'm struggling with. Honestly, I still am struggling with it. I would have spent more than 30,000, 40,000 rupees to help my maid, right? Much more than that. But here, 2,000 rupees is transforming somebody's life so significantly. How do I decide who I should support? So last year, there's this very interesting movement called effective altruism that's been going on for a long time. And so last year, they had a conference in India, finally, in Bangalore, in September. So I came and attended the conference. And while that gave me some answers, I was still not completely happy with it. So I went and did this advanced course on effective altruism. So it's a 12-week program. And because most of the others were in the US, my program was between 5:30 to 6:30 in the morning. But it was a wonderful program. And what was very interesting for me was how they look at things, right? They're very quantitative in their approach. Everything is driven by numbers, etc. And right now, the three most important things that the EA movement globally is working on, one is, of course, climate change. A lot of us will relate to it. The second biggest challenge to humanity, according to them, is AI. They are deeply worried that AI might actually take over human beings, and not enough is being done to put in the right guardrails around AI. And the third biggest cause that they work on is welfare of farmed animals, right? At least climate change, most of us will relate to. The other two seem very strange. And they have a lot of numbers to back up why they think these are the most important causes to work on. And while I was thinking about it, I kept going back, I kept getting confused. For example, growing mushrooms, helping a woman in distress, helping people get Aadhaar and other aid documents, teaching a child, mentoring, like Ullas does, like many of the other organizations I've supported have done. It's a tough thing for people to figure out. But whenever I take a step back and think about it, there is one thing that I always realize. I may be confused about all these other things, but there's one thing I am never confused about, which is that if society has to prosper, the only way it is going to prosper in the future is if the people in the future care about the society they're living in. So to me, that is the bedrock of society. You need to have the capability to solve your problems, but equally you need to have the desire or the wish to solve your problems in the future. Now, all of us are doing volunteering, right? We do various kinds of things. Some of us do tree plantation, seed ball making, going and painting walls, all of those kind of things. How often do we stop to think, does this really make this person care more about society? Because that's really fundamentally why people should volunteer, right? Because we want them to care more. How often do we stop to think? What I loved about ma'am's presentation was just how systematically it's designed to get people deeply engaged to work with the children. When everybody is actually individually engaging with a child, the chances that they will get involved, and that too over a significantly long period of time, they're not just going and doing one session and coming back. There is an opportunity to transform. Now, it's tough. I know we all know that it's tough. If I'm a corporate, I have targets. What is my percentage participation rate, like somebody asked, ma'am. There'll be companies that say, what is your per capita volunteer hours that you do? Some companies' bosses will ask you to calculate the value in money of the volunteering hours that your employees did. And these kind of targets, and then on top of it, you have employees who will say, yaar, karna hai to aapko mere ko weekday mein let me do. Why are you making me volunteer on my Saturdays? Right? So if I'm a volunteer manager in a corporate, my life is already hell. On top of it, you're telling me how should I get my volunteer to start caring? It's too much. If I'm working in a non-profit, I have my own set of problems. We have volunteers who will come and do all kinds of nakras. We'll have people who will constantly, funders like Venkat, who will keep saying, where are the numbers? Then you'll have other funders who will say, where are the stories? Ab story banao, number banao, ya getting the volunteer to care. What should I do? Right? Life is tough. But I really think this is exactly what we have to do. Whether we are a corporate, whether we are an NGO, whether an intermediary, we don't have the choice of choosing which of these battles to fight. We have to do all of these. We have to deliver to what our business wants out of us. We have to deliver enough impact so that the funders are happy. And we have to deliver enough so that our volunteers actually start caring about what they're trying to do. There are three ways to look at this. First, look at it from the individual volunteers level, right? Why should a person volunteer? What is the benefit they are getting out of it? That benefit could be their skills are improved, they have a sense of feel good, they get to network, they get to build relationships, whatever else it is, plus the impact that they have, right? As long as what the volunteer is getting is more than what they feel they are giving away, in terms of not watching Netflix or whatever else, I think you will have that volunteer. And therefore, goal number one is how do we deliver enough value to the volunteer? How do we keep looking at what is the value our volunteers are getting? How do we survey them? How do we ask them feedback constantly, get that information, and keep looking at how are we delivering constantly enough value to the volunteer? If you're a business, for example, and I think there's a session at 12 o'clock today on how do you deliver business outcomes out of volunteering to a company? Can I make sure that people who go and volunteer pick up skills that result in improvement in their productivity at the workforce? Can it result in us discovering new insights into the consumer's mind that help us become better as a business? If you're able to deliver value to the business, then the company will start saying, okay, I'll give you 2 paid days off, go and volunteer, because it's helping the business, right? And last but not least, if you look at the founder side of it, and this equation is a little complex, but we've just started doing some work on this. By the way, these are not numbers we just write here to scare you. I'm actually using these numbers in some of the work we do. 2 important things when you look at impact that you do as a nonprofit, right? The first is, how much is it costing me as an organization per hour of volunteering time? We use the term CPVH for it. We were very surprised that there is no metric for this anywhere in the world when we started our work in 2018. And we use a very simple logic that for whatever skill that person is working on, if there is a paid full-time salaried person doing the same job, and that person has a certain per hour cost, we should be significantly lower than that. If you're not significantly lower than that, then it's better to just hire people and do it. Why are we wasting everybody's time? So that's one. And the second is, am I more effective as a volunteer-run organization than, say, another NGO that's just using paid staff? And that may not be just a direct cost per hour calculation, because when you hire employees, you get significant learning curve benefits. Somebody joins you as a field manager, will stay with your organization for 3 years. By the 3rd year, their productivity is 5 times what it was when they started. With volunteers, unless you get volunteers who stay with you for 3 years and 5 years, which is almost never the case, your productivity per hour, a lot of us get volunteers to go and, for example, paint a school, right? Now, if you take 100 volunteers and paint a school or a wall in X amount of time, a professional painter will paint it in 1/10 that time, 1/10, and they'll probably do a better job, right? So if I have to compare value to value, it might probably be cheaper to just get a professional painter to go and do it, right? So how do we go back to the drawing board on each of these things? And so my point to you, and I'm going to stop with this, you can ask me questions if you want, but there's a break immediately after that. So the benefit is you don't have to ask questions. I just want to end with this, that over the next 2 days, and then over the next several VolCons, and why wait for every VolCon? Over the next few weeks, months, can each of us invest a little bit of time going deeper into what we do? Going deeper into what can I do to improve our volunteer retention? Who in this country is doing the best job on retaining volunteers? Can I find out? Can I ask around in WhatsApp groups and other places? Can I catch hold of them and say, what is this magic powder you have? Give me 1 kilo of that. I can also go back and try in my organization, right? Who is really measuring impact and volunteering the best in this country? What can I learn from them? What can I take back, go back and figure out how we can measure our impact? Whatever it is that you do, whether you're recruiting volunteers, who's best at building these pipelines, how has somebody figured out a way to get 1,000 volunteers in a single shot? How can I learn from them? How can I learn from the spiritual organizations? They seem to get millions of volunteers. What can we learn from them? So I would request, please use the next 2 days to do what you can to get the most for yourself from this conference, from the sessions that you attend. And and please share your learnings with everybody, and all the best to all of you. Thank you.